A few years ago, I desperately needed a computer for my studies and part-time work. With a tight budget, I decided to look for a reasonably priced secondhand computer on Craigslist. I knew the platform was filled with affordable options, but also aware of its risks. I never imagined I'd become one of those cautionary tales. I found a seemingly perfect deal, a computer that fit my needs at a great price. The seller was responsive and seemed enthusiastic. We chatted over emails, and he even sent me a video of the computer, making everything seem real and trustworthy. We agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, and I was filled with joy at the thought of finally getting a good computer. On the day of the meetup, the sun was shining fiercely, and the air was filled with the aroma of coffee and baking bread. I arrived early and took a seat by the window, constantly scanning each face that entered. Soon, a middle-aged man walked in, looking around before his gaze settled on me. He approached with a friendly smile and introduced himself, his voice calm and reassuring. After a brief chat, he suggested we go to his car to get some computer accessories. I hesitated but eventually agreed. We left the cafe, the sunlight glaring in my eyes, and I followed him toward his car. The streets grew quieter as we turned into a less populated alley. My heart started to beat uneasily, but I tried to convince myself it was just nervousness. He opened the car door and pointed to the back seat where the accessories supposedly were. As I leaned in to look, everything changed. He suddenly pushed me hard, and I felt the sharp pain of hitting the ground. He quickly pinned me down, his arms like iron clamps. I struggled to escape, but his strength was overwhelming. He rummaged through my pockets, snatched my wallet, then ran back to his car. I lay there trembling with shock and pain. I heard his car start, and the sound fading away until it was gone. I lay on the cold, hard ground, feeling deeply betrayed and helpless. My body was in pain, but the emotional wound was indescribable. After some time, I gathered the courage to stand up and stagger back to the cafe. I called the police and an ambulance. They arrived quickly, but I knew the seller was long gone. The incident left a deep scar in my heart, reminding me that no matter how much you long for convenience and a good deal, safety is always paramount. Since then, I've sworn never to be so trusting of strangers again.